Hey guys, and welcome back to another countdown video right here on TetraBitGaming. After the pain in my heart caused by Mario Parties 9 and 10, I thought the series that I once loved was dead forever. But I am happy I was wrong, as Super Mario Party for the Switch went back to basics and the new Joy-Con controls and HD Rumble breathed new life into the series. Like, who would have thought shaking candy out of a jar could be so fun? I was going to make a simple top 10 minigames list, but some goons beat me to the chase, so I guess I'll have to strive for at least a bit more originality. Before we start, I just want to thank my friends over at Displate for sponsoring this video. Displate offers these awesome, super easy to install metal posters perfect for your bedroom, kitchen, TetraBitGaming shrine, whatever. Displate has a growing library of almost 150,000 designs to choose from for basically any interest, be it gaming, comics, or toilet seats. And right now, if you use code TETRA when making an order using the link at the top of the description, you'll not only receive free shipping on your entire order and support me, but for every one plate you buy, Displate plants 10 trees as well. That's like a triple play of goodness. So if you're interested in these awesome plates, be sure to check out the link at the top of the description. But anyways, enough talk, let's get the party started. It's time for my list of the top 5 best and worst minigames in Super Mario Party. And kicking off the list of the best minigames in Super Mario Party is Train in Pain. In this minigame, 2 teams are split into 4 carts, each armed with a massive boxing glove. The premise of the minigame is pretty straightforward. Drive around and try to punch the passengers off their vehicle on the opposing team. And then finally, when all of the passengers are taken care of, you have to punch out the driver. This is a little bit more difficult as the driver is protected on the front and the sides, unlike the passengers who can be hit from basically any angle. So for the final blow, you have to aim right in the back of the vehicle. This minigame is pretty hectic and definitely demands your attention. Also, friendly fire is on, so not only do you have to be careful not to punch out your own teammates, but you also better hope they aren't dumb enough to punch you either. I'm looking at you, Bowser Jr. Next up is Cruisin for a Bruisin. This free-for-all minigame has each player running away from an increasingly large stampede of bruisers, with the last player standing being the winner. There are also 2 paths you have to decide between each interval, an upper and lower path. Choose poorly and you'll be met with a series of obstacle blocks, but if you choose the right path, it will be smooth sailing for at least a few more seconds. As the minigame progresses, it gets more hectic, and a larger herd means less room to move around. This means less time to decide which path to take, and less time to correct any mistakes if you walk into an obstacle. It also gets really frustrating if several players choose the bad path and you end up just running into and blocking each other. You definitely need to be on your toes to avoid the obstacles in this one. And up next at the number 3 spot is Potato. This minigame harkens back to the Hot Ba-Bomb minigame that appeared in both Mario Party 1 and 2. Those minigames were basically just a game of hot potato, and you don't want to be stuck with the bomb as it explodes. In Super Mario Party, it's very similar, although some changes were made. Most notably, the player count was increased from 4 to like 16. And instead of just 1 Ba-Bomb to worry about, the minigame starts off with 4 and then less as more players get eliminated. One change I don't like is that you can no longer choose who you want to throw the Ba-Bombs to, and you can only pass them around in a clockwise manner. Although I guess this change makes sense, as I don't know what would happen if multiple players chose to throw a bomb to the same character. But I digress. Even with these changes, the minigame is still as nail-biting as it was in the series beginning. Like, I'm sure my heart skips a beat every time I'm throwing up a bomb that's ready to explode. One of my absolute favorite minigames, not just from Mario Party 2, but from the entire series, is Shellshocked, a minigame in which players are plopped into a shell tank with the order to eliminate all other players. At number 2 on this list is the revamp of this game, Shellshocked Deluxe, which can be played in Toad's Rec Room. This minigame follows in the footsteps of its predecessor, although now the minigame uses a top-down view perspective instead of one in the third person. Players have to drive their tank around and shoot other players while also trying to take cover and dodge bullets shot by others. Although this version doesn't have a lob shot like the original, it does introduce the ability to ricochet bullets off pipes and walls, which adds a new layer of difficulty to the mix. Shellshocked Deluxe is also one of the few minigames which has extra support for more than one Switch console. By bringing a second console to the party, the battlefield can be expanded, offering for an even crazier battle. Seeing Shellshocked make a return definitely makes me one happy camper. Another minigame that I have really fond memories of, and I know a lot of people really like, is Bumper Balls. Again, first seen in Mario Parties 1 and 2. Capping off my list of the best minigames in this game is yet another revamp, Bumper Brawl. Take the original Bumper Balls minigame, now increase the player count to 16, increase the field of play, and add a charge boost move, and boom, you have Bumper Brawl. Bumper Brawl is actually a lot more similar to Bumper to Bumper from Mario Party 7. Now that I'm older, whenever I play the original Bumper Balls game against real people, more often than not, the game will just end in a draw. This is definitely far less likely in Bumper Brawl, as it's easier to knock people around, especially with the newly added charge move, which will send any player packing. And with that, now on to what I think are the 5 worst minigames in Super Mario Party. Let's go! Starting the list of the worst minigames at number 5 is Maths of Glory, which is a real shame because part of me kinda likes this minigame. Maths of Glory requires 2 players on each team to hit a block that scrolls between numbers 1 to 6. Each team's numbers are multiplied, and the resulting number is the number of cannonballs that will be shot at the opposing player's castle, which is made up of 50 puzzle pieces. First team to destroy the opposing castle wins. The problem with it is that if you're playing against computer players, the team that wins is essentially based completely on luck. Or on the other hand, if you have a decent sense of timing and you're playing with and against other players who do as well, a 6 can be rolled fairly easily and the game will end in a draw almost every time. And that's honestly my biggest gripe with this minigame, the likeliness of it ending in a draw. In my experience with real players, it was almost inevitable, and even with CPUs, the chances were also high if the castle health on both sides was like 20 or less. Again, real cool concept, I think it just needs a few tweaks to make it that much better. Up next, we have Metal Detectors. In this free-for-all minigame, each player is equipped with a shovel and you just start digging for coins, while also avoiding the 4 pokies that wander around. This minigame just feels so slow. From walking around to the actual dig animation, everything is just a slog. At first I thought it was complete RNG where the coins were hidden, but the Joy-Cons will start to rumble when you get close to a hidden stash. But even then, I can't really tell if the intensity changes or not, but to me it feels like the rumble is basically the same whether it's a stash of 7 coins or just 1. You only get 30 seconds to look for the coins, which may seem and feel like a lot, but if the coins aren't hidden close to where you start, good luck getting any more than like 6 coins out of this minigame. Next up at number 3 is Smash and Crab. It's a common occurrence in minigames throughout the Mario Party series in which the 1 vs 3 minigames heavily favor either the solo player or the team of 3. This minigame definitely favors the solo player. If you just align yourself with the driver of the Crabmobile and just try to stay in the middle while mimicking the movements, you'll be 100% fine, and it's super easy to do. And if you're on the team of 3, man, you better hope everyone is on the ball, and if you're playing with computers, good luck. If you're driving, the odds of the computer players slamming down the hammer at an opportune time is super low. This isn't the only skewed 1 vs 3 minigame in Super Mario Party, but it's definitely the one that caught my attention and frustrated me the most. At number 2 is probably one of the dumbest minigames I have ever played. Rattle and Hmm is basically just a minigame that shows off the HD rumble features of the Joy-Con controllers. Curtains open and close as you get to feel how different enemies move or react on screen. The rumbles are usually pretty distinct, making this minigame incredibly easy. It usually just boils down to length or intensity of the rumble. Honestly, the worst part is just having to sit and feel each of the enemy rumbles. I guess it's kind of cool that it shows off the capabilities of the HD rumble, but it's just such a bad minigame. Yeah, of course it wasn't the bomb. He literally just died. And ending this video at the number 1 worst minigame is the co-op minigame Suit Yourself. Now this minigame is by far the easiest, slowest, and most boring minigames I have played in Super Mario Party. It's essentially just a memory game. A Magic Koopa, probably Kamek, will flash a suit of cards and then the game highlights where they are. The cards flip back over and then your team has to pick the cards of the right suit. And that's basically all there is to it. Some cards may swap places or all the cards will rotate, but nothing really challenging at all. And more often than not, the cards that swap places aren't even the ones you need to look for. And this game just keeps going until all but 2 of the decoy cards are flipped. So a typical minigame in Super Mario Party takes usually no more than around 30 seconds, sometimes even less. But Suit Yourself takes almost 2 minutes to complete from start to finish. And no, it's definitely not a fun 2 minutes. This groan-inducing minigame is awful, and I actually dread playing it whenever it comes up after a balloon is popped in the new River Survival mode. Definitely the minigame I think is the most rotten of the apples in an otherwise awesome collection of minigames. And there you have it, my dudes, my list of the top 5 best and worst minigames in Super Mario Party, and I hope you enjoyed. I'm certain there are minigames that you disagree with or think should be on this list, so I'd love to hear what your favorite and least favorite minigames are down in the comments below. Also, be sure to check out some of my other countdown videos by clicking on the card right here. If you're new here and would like to stay up to date with me and the channel, be sure to subscribe here for more videos and also toss me a follow over on my other social media things, which will all be linked in the description. But as always guys, thank you all so much for watching today and for all of your amazing support, and I will see you in a bit.